that this was handled the way that it was. I think that it was largely driven by headlines. And aside from the people involved and the parties involved, obviously I take domestic violence, I take this very seriously, Chris, but I also take very seriously the fact that I do believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, that Tory's innocent. And I think that it sets a really bad message when you have someone of his stature, and also to someone that is as influential as he is, that's being wrongfully incarcerated. And that's exactly why we wanted to use our megaphone for a good reason and help get him his pardon, which I think he'll get.
So Luna, who did it? I mean, she says, and her friends say, that he did it, and who else would have done it, and what proof do you have to support that? I get it. Maybe they didn't make the case the right way with the weapon, but who did it?
You know, Chris, that's not for me to weigh in, and that's definitely for the judge and the jury. But what I will tell you is, based on the evidence that we have, the evidence that we have says that he wasn't the guy. And so I do think that Gavin Newsom has some great attorneys that will look at this. But I'd also like to point out that the prosecutor specifically on this case that initially brought the charges is a very interesting prosecutor. Look into who ran him. And at the end of the day, you know, I think Hollywood, as you know, Chris, in politics does overlap, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened there. So look at the evidence for yourself. We've posted it for the entire world to see, to determine for themselves. And I know that Tory's legal team actually has an incredible case. And so we are calling on Gavin Newsom to issue that pardon immediately. And also remember, he was almost killed in jail. I actually talked to him today on the phone, and he said that once he does get out, once he does get this pardon, which I do feel confident that he'll be getting, he's going to work extensively in prison reform, because this should never happen to anyone.
Anna Paulina Luna. (2022), singer, rapper Tory Lanez convicted of shooting performer Thee Stallion after a party at the Hollywood Hills home of Kylie Jenner. Here's the story. They're at the party. After the party, they get into an argument. Lanez tells Thee Stallion, dance, and shoots at her feet like a cowboy movie, hits her. Proof? Testimony of Thee Stallion, her friend Kelsey Harris, and DNA evidence on the weapon that convinced jurors to convict. Pretty simple, right? Maybe not. Turns out that DNA, only a 0.01% chance that the DNA is from Lanez. He's always maintained his innocence. He was sentenced to 10 years, so this is really about the testimony. Lanez, so what happens? So he goes away, recently...
Wait a minute. I just realized, dawg, I've been muted this whole time. It's all good. Y'all don't know this. Y'all don't know this.
He stabbed 14 times in prison. Many say it was a hit, okay?
Yeah,
because new evidence is about to come out. All right, a little conspiratorial, but he was definitely stabbed. Lane's supporters believe that the media doesn't care because Thee Stallion is represented by Jay-Z's Rock Nation. Now, I could give a damn about Jay-Z or his company. This just wasn't a case on my radar until now. Why? Anna Paulina Luna. She is a representative from Florida. You see her here on a regular basis. She says she's got new evidence, says it wasn't him. And she joins us now. Representative APL, it's good to have you.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be back on. And thanks for taking a look at this case.
No, listen, you tell me to take a look at it, I'll look at it. But why did you look at it? I mean, this isn't your jurisdiction. I don't know you to have any connection to any of these people.
Hey,
yeah,
maybe
so
she does.
as you know, we are on oversight and accountability, and so this case was actually initially flagged for me by Amber Rose. And the reason why I took a particular interest in it is because of the fact that they actually had evidence that they presented to me in my office that actually disproved the conviction. So as you stated earlier, that 0.01% of DNA, they actually found 4 people's DNA on that firearm, none of which was Tory's. Not to mention there was 0 fingerprints on the actual magazine. And also, too, as you said, 0.01% 100% chance. I mean, that evidence in itself should pretty much speak for itself. Also, there's been ring footage that's been obtained that actually disproves the whole dance, Megan. And so what we're seeing is really there was a case of he said, she said. The evidence wasn't actually respected and properly adhered to actually in the trial. And then they also were doing something that I would find pretty wild and egregious. They're actually submitting his lyrics for rap as evidence to the crime. So look, first and foremost, you have to have a free and fair society. That means we need to respect and uphold the justice system. So I actually reached out today to Gavin Newsom's office, and we are requesting an emergency meeting. We're also working with other Democrats, specifically to the California delegation. But I think that this is something that's pretty egregious, that the way that this was handled, the way that it was. I think that it was largely driven by headlines. And aside from the people involved and the parties involved, obviously I take domestic violence, I take this very seriously.
Yo, salute to all the cats that was saying for months and months, free Tory. I was saying it too, because I was keeping it honest.
Chris, but I also take very seriously the fact that I do believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, that Tory's innocent. And I think that it sets a really bad message when you have someone of his stature, and also to someone that is as influential as he is, that's being wrongfully incarcerated. And that's exactly why we wanted to use our megaphone for a good reason and help get him his pardon, which I think he'll get.
So Luna, who did it? I mean, she says, and her friends say that he did it. And who else would have done it? And what proof do you have to support that? I get it. Maybe they didn't make the case the right way with the weapon, but who did it?
Somebody did
Chris,
it.
that's not for me to weigh in, and that's definitely for the judge and the jury. But what I will tell you is, based on the evidence that we have, the evidence that we have says that he wasn't the guy. And so I do think that Gavin Newsom has some great attorneys that will look at this. But I'd also like to point out that the prosecutor specifically on this case that initially brought the charges is a very interesting prosecutor. Look into who ran him. And at the end of the day, you know, I think Hollywood, as you know, Chris, and politics does overlap, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened there. So look at the evidence for yourself. We've posted it for the entire world to see, to determine for themselves. And I know that Tory's legal team actually has an incredible case. And so we are calling on Gavin Newsom to issue that pardon immediately. And also remember, he was almost killed in jail. I actually talked to him today on the phone, and he said that once he does get out, once he does get this pardon, which I do feel confident that he'll be getting, he's going to work extensively in prison reform.
So what we got here, let's read this. Move that out of the way. It says, just spoke with Tory Lanez from inside prison. Despite being stabbed multiple times, his spirit remains unbroken, and he's been deeply grateful for the opportunity to prove his innocence. The question now, when will the governor of CA finally review the case and pardon him? Wait, so he locked up in Cali? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it. I thought he got locked up in Canada. I don't know why. I thought he got locked up here though, and got deported to Canada. I don't know. That's what I thought. But hey, he's still in the UFC. Figured.
Because this should never happen to anyone.
Anna Paulina Luna, this is a really interesting one. I've never covered a situation like this before.
Me
but
either.
I appreciate you using your platform, and let the legal team know. We'll be reaching out if they want to come on to make the case. I'm happy to hear it, and we'll check in with the governor's office as well. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, of course. And Chris, too, if you want, we can probably connect you with his dad as well. I think it's important for people to know all the facts.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'll check in with you right after the show. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.
Sure, she basically did what Kim Kardashian said she was gonna do with the C murder case. She kind of looked like she could be related to Kardashian, like she's maybe Armenian herself. We got some more footage over here. Ching ching, get it paid over there Thursday. Not me, but you know the lawyers. They getting ching ching, getting paid over there. It said the Punisher on Diddy freak offs with Cassie plus Tory Lanez incident. This a so-called innocent incident. You see that? They put it in quotations, baby, quotations. Well, let's see what's happening.
Well, joining me now are Son Star Peterson, Tory Lanez's father, and Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Well, welcome to both of you. Mr. Peterson, thank you very much indeed for coming on Uncensored. And first of all, I was, like everyone, very shocked to hear about what happened to Tory in prison. He's sustained a lot of injuries. Can you just start by telling me how he is?
Unfortunate.
Yes. First of all, Pierce, thank you for having me on. Thank you for having us on. And it's an honor to meet you, sir. Right now, my son is recovering, and we're thankful for that. We thank God for that. This was a very brutal, unprovoked situation. And I know that many people like to speculate a lot of things, and when we don't have facts on the internet, people sort of provide their own. And some people, I guess, are well-meaning, but there's just a lot of misinformation that goes out. However, I'm thankful that he is recovering very well at this time, and so we're grateful. We're very thankful for his recovery. Not for the grace of God, my son could have been out of here. So we are very, very thankful right now.
Praise the
person who attacked him is, I believe, serving a considerable prison sentence for killing somebody before. Do you believe it was a deliberate attempt to kill your son? And do you have any idea yet, from any information you've gleaned, as to whether what the motivation for that may have been, or whether it's connected at all to the reason why he's in prison to start with?
I wouldn't want to speculate on what the person's motivation is, because motive comes from deep within somebody's heart, and so I don't have a window to that. However, you know, I wouldn't say that it has. Honestly, sir, I really just can't. I can't speak to the motive. It would be impossible for me to be able to speak to that person's motive.
Mountain Mike's always had a presence in our community.
So it
was just a brand that I could relate to.
Now, everybody knows how much I enjoy my tea, and I'm very happy to say that today's show is sponsored by Peaks Pure Fermented Tea.
This ain't part of the program. I mean, it is, but hey. What about some tea? We not in damn London.
Flash hits.
Want some tea?
Have you spoken to your son since? I presume you have, since he was attacked.
Well, maybe he's in London though.
Oh yeah. We've spoken on several occasions. My family, we come together and we pray on a daily basis. This has been pretty well 5 years now, almost 5 years since this whole incident ever came to the public's attention. And since that day, we come together sometimes, most times twice a day. Wherever we are in the world, we are on a phone call and we pray. And thankfully, a lot of times he's able to join us. He will, call in from the prison tablet, and we're able to come together and we pray. So since the situation happened, my wife and I, we were able to be with him from the very first day that we heard. This incident happened about 6:30 in the morning, and then by the time we were cleared to go in to see him at the hospital, by the time we got in, it was about 1:30 that afternoon. We spent practically the whole afternoon with him, following day, and then the next day after that, when he was discharged and went back. So, yeah, I've been in pretty well constant contact with him.
Before I move on, I just want to ask you, are you 100% convinced that your son did not commit the shooting for which he's serving this sentence?
Oh, snap.
I'm absolutely convinced. I've always been convinced. And a lot of the evidence that had been suppressed over the years, a lot of shenanigans that went on in the courtroom are now coming to light. There's been so much foul play. And I'm not just saying this as some sort of pissed off parent. I mean, one of the things, just by way of an example, and I know that our attorneys have spoken to this, they have laid out things line by line. And I want to even take this moment this is the first time I'm meeting Representative Luna face to face. I want to thank you for the masterful job you've done getting in, out over the last little while, over the last couple of days on your, on your platform so that people can know exactly what happened. But let me tell you from a parental standpoint, a parental observer of my son walking through this. I'll never forget the day when we're sitting outside of the courtroom getting ready for court to reconvene. And imagine the only independent witness, which should have been the only objective witness in this case, was a gentleman by the name of Sean Kelly. Interestingly enough, the only person that would be able to have an unbiased viewpoint of what actually happened. Imagine that the prosecution did not want to call that witness. Why? This is the only independent witness, but yet you don't want to call this person because obviously his bird's eye view will not support what you want the narrative to be. And so when we sat outside, my wife and I, we saw this gentleman come in and we sat down and it was identified for us that, oh, this is Mr. Sean Kelly. He's sitting across from us on the other side of the hallway.
Who is that?
We sat there, the prosecution came out, one of their detectives or investigators rather, and one of the prosecutors, they took this gentleman, they went upstairs, I believe it was to the 14th floor at that time. By the time this man came down, the witness they did not want to call, this man came down and his testimony became so embellished with other nonsense that people who saw it just looked at it and said, this is crazy. So I saw these kind of things going on all throughout this case. People trying to bury evidence, not trying, burying evidence, a judge that refused to allow certain things to come into the courtroom or to be said, and was totally biased on the part of the prosecution. So the whole thing just stunk of a setup.
Ooh.
Just one last question, because you made me think of this. If your son was not responsible for Megan Thee Stallion being shot, we do know that indisputably she was shot. Who shot her?
Like Biggie would say, who shot you?
First of all, the whole idea of her being shot is a speculation. That's a speculation. It's to this point has not been proven that she was even shot. And I want to make it really clear because I'm asked questions a lot as it regards to Megan. Megan is a young woman. I'm a father. I don't have any animosity to this girl at all. We pray for her. I've said that publicly on several occasions. My son included in our prayers. We have prayed for her on many occasions. So anything that I have to say is not to put her down, make her look like this person or that person. But the reality is that in all of this, how can you have a situation where in pretrial, the police, LAPD, says that the bullet fragments they had collected from the hospital just mysteriously vanishes. It goes missing.
Like that?
I would think that evidence is something that is protected in any police department, but they just mysteriously go missing. So there's no bullet fragments to be presented at trial. You have a situation where a gun is shot, and the gun,
that's weird,
which is supposed to be your main piece of evidence, does not even show up at court, but some picture of a weapon that resembles or is the type of weapon they say that was used. The weapon does not show up at court. There is absolutely no, we hear this point of 0.1% of his DNA on the gun. Do you know what that actually means when you investigate it? That over 1.5 billion black people on the planet could have been their DNA. Yet my son is convicted for having used this gun, where an expert witness from the LAPD gets in there and he testifies as an expert of how many pounds of pressure it takes to shoot this gun and to shoot it 1, 2, 3 times and on and on and on. Yet, the only evidence you have could fit the profile of 1.5 billion black people on planet Earth. The whole thing stinks of a conspiracy, and it stinks of a cover-up.
Wow.
Okay, let me
so
turn to
anybody.
Representative Luna.
Who else was
taken
with
up
him?
this case, and you've done it at a time when Drake has shared a petition to have Tory Lanez released. Chris Brown posted Free Tory on his Instagram story. Kanye West has supported his release as well. I want to play, before I get your explanation of why you've taken up this case, I want to play, this is a version of events from Megan Thee Stallion herself, from her own documentary about what she says happened.
Yeah, roll that.
We left to...
what the heck? They showing too much.
I was in the car with Tory and
she was
and
naked
Kelsey.
when this happened?
We are all arguing. I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I knew I was talking shit, and he probably was a little offended. I tried to get out the car one time. I'm over this shit.
It's so inappropriate. Sorry, y'all.
Like, Megan, get back in the car. We almost to your house. I get out the car again.
This is
I ain't even got
Boondocks?
shit on. I just got on a swimsuit. And I'm walking off, and this motherfucker just started hollering at me. He was like, dance, bitch.
These are Boondocks, bro.
This is what I do if I had to lose 20 pounds.
Yo, where Aaron McGruder at?
Have you seen this guy?
Did he
the
make
one
this?
that keeps telling us
Did he make this
Stop running on
cartoon?
the treadmill.
Well, you might want to listen to this.
They make a fried chicken on his stomach. Ooh. Dang. Wow.
It's a very dramatic sort of recounting there in animated form of what happened. She then talked about it again in an interview with Gayle King on CBS, the morning show there, in 2022. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, let's take a look at
I get out
this.
the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times. And I was so scared. I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quick. Like, cause I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's like super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me. Like.
And the final clip I want to play, this is where, in her own documentary.
If none of that happened, like she said, she might as well get into movies, film. Might as well. She'll do good.
Again, she talks about that interview and admits she may not have been entirely truthful. Let's take a look at this.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle
I saw
King,
this
bitch.
one.
First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. Bitch, I always want to talk about this shooting. Why'd you ask me about fucking Tory? That's not what this is about. Even if I was, I fucked once, maybe twice on a drunk night. Bitch, you kept catching me out of my fucking mind.
No, I don't think you need to be a conspiracy theorist, Representative Luna, to see there's a lot of inconsistency going on here.
Yeah.
You know, she denied to Gayle King that there was any relationship with Tory. She then admits that there had been, that she lied. She doesn't admit to lying about the circumstances of the shooting, but certainly this goes to the heart of her veracity. Why have you taken up this case?
Well, first of all, Pierce, thank you so much for having us on to discuss this. And I just want to applaud you and your outlet for actually being able to showcase some of the facts here. Look, I don't have any connections to the rap industry, Mr. West, Mr. Brown. The only people that I really know involved in this are Miss Amber Rose, who actually initially flagged this for me and connected me with Tory's attorney. And when I looked at the evidence, and remember, I'm a member of House Oversight and Accountability, and I actually am the chairwoman of a task force that conducts investigations, most notably into the assassination of John F. Kennedy. So I'm all about the facts. And what I can tell you is that the evidence in this case overwhelmingly speaks to the fact that Mr. Lanez is actually being incarcerated, I would say, as an innocent man. And what I can tell you is, even to your question on what happened with who indeed may have pulled the trigger and, allegedly shot Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I don't know Miss Stallion, but what I can tell you is that the evidence says that there are no bullet fragments and that there are x-rays that the legal team, Mr. Lane's team, actually has that will be presenting. What I can also tell you is based on the evidence that I've seen, again, that number 0.01% DNA match, alleging that it's Mr. Lane's, when in actuality, they actually did not choose to test the other 4 individuals there. No fingerprints found on the magazine. By any arguable case, if this was a murder trial, he would actually be acquitted because there is no evidence. And so what I will tell you is, one of the things that people ask is, well, why are you getting involved as a federal representative when this is a California state? He's not from, Florida, or he's not represented by a Florida member of Congress. What purview do you have? And what I will say, Pierce, is that I have a platform and I have the ability on a federal level to impact prison reform. And what I can tell you is everything in this case, I don't believe that he was actually given due process. I believe it was a stacked trial. I believe the evidence speaks for itself. And I am willing to actually cross party lines to work with the Democrats to secure pardon from Governor Newsom's office. And we're currently in the process of setting up talks with Governor Newsom. I do think that he is going to do the right thing. I think that the evidence speaks for itself. I didn't know that Drake had posted that petition, but what I will tell you is that was the right thing for him to do. And I hope more women specifically
you gotta stick up for fellow Canadians.
Come forward and speak to this truth, because as you heard from Miss Stallion herself, she admitted to lying to Gayle King. And what I will also tell you is I'm also been informed that there's actually ring footage, and that will likely also be released here pretty soon. We are hoping to put the evidence out there to the American people. But I do believe that this is really a terrible case, and what was done to this family is unacceptable. And I will be continuing to push for his full pardon. I think that people owe them an apology. And furthermore, I'd like to finally say this. So that I actually spoke to Mr. Lanes on the phone in prison yesterday, actually. And he is actually going to get very involved in criminal justice reform to ensure that this doesn't happen to other people, because in his case, he has an incredible family supporting him. He has the financial backing to fight this, but many people don't. And so that's where we are going to continue to champ these causes at the federal level, even all the way to the White House and in Washington, D.C.
Well, I'd love to talk to him myself.
Some people's family would have turned on him.
Fascinating story. Just before I let you go, just to be clear, do you actually think a gun was fired at all then, or could that in itself be in question? And if it was fired, who do you think fired it?
Yeah, who did this?
I don't know who fired it, but what I will tell you is that based on the evidence that I've seen and that the Tory's attorneys will be presenting to the American people, I think that there are a lot of things in question. And I would say that, look, Pierce, you know that I'm a United States Air Force veteran. I grew up in a very rough area.
Whoever did it, you still got time. You better fill out that passport. Get missing. I'm just saying.
High school where there was a gang shooting. When someone gets shot, there's evidence of that. My husband was shot in Afghanistan in 2014, and the evidence isn't lining up.
So you do not think she was actually shot?
I'm not a criminal investigator in that sense, so I'm just gonna go on record for saying that the evidence as of right now is showing that there are no bullet fragments that have been presented, which I'll let people assume what they will on that.
Okay, so final question for you, Sonstar.
Can I speak? Speak really quickly to that?
Yes, sir.
It's interesting going back that there was a time when all of this nothing was really being said about it amongst the party that was there on that particular night. Then an article appeared in the Los Angeles Times, okay? It wasn't us that put it out. The Los Angeles Times spoke to the fact that a doctor, I believe it's a Lafredo, who was the emergency physician on duty that night when she was brought to the hospital, he said, and the Los Angeles Times carried it, that she sustained lacerations that were consistent with being cut by glass.
Yep, I heard about that.
So somebody now went online and commented or said something about that fact that the Los Angeles Times carried this. This is when, from the other side now, she came out accusing my son, you shot me, you shot me, you shot me. Later on down, we have so-called expert testimony coming from a whole other doctor was not present that night about removing bullet fragments. And again, nobody knows where these bullet fragments are to this very day.
Imaginary.
There's just been a lot of lies, a lot of cover up. And I believe
Most
this whole
likely.
case has been about truth versus the politics of power. The one thing about truth is light. You're never going to suppress it.
Truth
you
is
might
Jesus.
keep it down for a while, but it's going to come out.
That's right.
And it's going to shine like the sunlight.
Do you have a final
Pierce,
message?
if I could just,
Yes.
yeah, if I could just follow
Yes,
up and
ma'am.
say this. Also, to the reason why Mr. Lanez couldn't speak publicly to this is there's a gag order that was placed on him by the team bringing charges, and
Really?
when you don't have the ability to speak, that sends a pretty
ain't
powerful
right.
message. And so, part of my job is representing not just my constituents, but also ensuring that this doesn't happen in the future, and that's not right. So I'll speak the truth for him, and I'm going off facts. I'm presenting the evidence, and the people will decide. And I hope that Gavin Newsom does the right thing.
Okay, and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
final question for you, Sonstar. Do you have a final message for Megan Thee Stallion? If she's watching this, she, of course, could actively get involved here in exonerating your son if she wished to, if that was the case, and she believed that she had misled people. What's your message to her?
Shoot, it's in her best interest, to be honest. It's her last chance to save face.
I'm a believer in Christ, and my message is always the same to
Yeah.
any human being, and that's love, that's compassion. I don't have an appeal to her or her
Amen.
team because I think that would be an exercise in futility. However, I do want to say on behalf of my son what the representative just said. This passion in his heart for criminal justice reform, prison reform, that didn't start because he got stabbed the other day 14 times.
Okay.
That has been something we have been discussing for a long time. This journey took me, many people are just getting to know who I am. But I've been in ministry for over 42, 43 years. I have
Praise the
ministered on
Lord.
various continents. Before I came back to North America at the top of 2018, I spent 7.5 years in Kenya. And that made me to become a father, not to just my children, but to many children. We call them spiritual children around the world. And when I saw him walking through this, we've met many inmates as a result of this. And you have people in this country right now that are imprisoned because of some dark age, medieval times attitude that says once a person is incarcerated, they become like a leper. They become like the offscouring of society. Nobody cares about them. In the medieval times, they would parade these people down the street in a cart and they would throw
Hey.
Welcome to CG Smiles, the best dental
that
clinic
Gucci?
in South Florida.
In our clinic,
Man,
there's no
they
such
showing some
thing as the
Gucci or
word
something?
no.
I don't want no Gucci. I can't afford no Gucci. Or whatever that is.
rotten cabbages,
Oh,
tomatoes,
no
and
Gucci.
anybody that was locked away in the Tower of London or the Bastille in France or wherever, they were the offscouring of society. We still maintain that attitude up to this day, whether we realize it or not, how we treat people. But these are people, and their souls are being bartered and traded by billionaires who are making so much money from the federal government.
Slavery never went away. Church.
To keep these people.
And by church, I mean truth. Like, tell the truth. Church.
People in prison, and they are not being treated the amount of money these people are making is more than enough to make sure that they are treated properly and rehabilitated. But we consistently create this atmosphere of criminality that pushes people to commit more crimes while they're inside. They're released, they come out worse because their minds are so frayed from the trauma that they go through. We can do something about this. We are a society with resources, with means. We can do much better. And so that's why my son is going to stand on the forefront of helping people. We don't believe that violent criminals should be out, hurting people and all the rest of it. But there are a lot of people who are innocent in prison. And then there are a lot of people who have been put in prison and been given undue sentences because they're black, because they're brown.
It happens, yeah.
This stuff needs to stop. And we have the power as a community to stop it.
Yeah.
Mr. Peterson and Representative Luna, thank you both very much indeed for coming on Uncensored. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Piers Morgan Uncensored is
Well, that was a
proudly
whole lot
independent.
right there,
The only
baby.
boss around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for
Well, damn. That was a whole lot.
only one simple thing.
This is
Hit
talking about
subscribe on
advertisement at the
YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on
Shoot, subscribe to Morgan and subscribe to me. Shoot. I'm the man, too. Sort of. Ha. Yeah. We have one more clip to see what's happening. We have something here on IG on this guy's page called Fresh65. Let's see what's going on with this video. Can I make this on full screen? No. Nope, I made it smaller. Crap. Yeah, there gotta be a way to make this bigger. I think I'll be able to see it. Yeah, I think so. Let me check. Play it.
They got him for the highest charge.
What's up?
Oops. Let me zoom. Oh, there you go. I can zoom in like that. Y'all skipping and jump. Damn, why is skipping? Come on now. There you go. What's up with that?
Oh my God!
Is that tears of joy or
my God.
tears of sadness or what's going on?
Oh my God! Thank you, God! Like goddamn!
Oh, she thank God and cursed his name the next second.
Oh shit! If I ain't never think it was a God before, I know that motherfucker out there.
What? Bruh. What the fuck? Bring it back. Play it back. Let's see what they said at the
Count
beginning.
one. They got him for the highest charge.
Oh, so that must have been her lawyer talking to her. Highest charge. Bruh. You happy that somebody got locked up? I don't know. Maybe she... I don't freaking know, man. I guess I'm trying to give her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but it's like... And the only reason I'm doing that, because I don't want nobody to get in trouble. But it's like... Woman, if you lied the whole time about this junk, man, and then she might not get in trouble at all. She might get off scot-free, to be honest. She might get off scot-free. Somebody said she knows he didn't do it. Somebody said give her life. Hey, Cass been saying for a long time, free Tory, but people looked at them crazy. I was saying for weeks too, for months, all that. Probably for years. I forget how long it's been. That's how long it's been. Man, get this stuff out of the way. Somebody said, funky dog. Oh my goodness. Wait. That's her? Wait, that's that girl? Nah, that can't be her. That's her that hugged her? That's what's her name? Gail King? That ain't Gail King. Y'all lying, that ain't her. So that's Gail King that hugged her. That's not her.
Oh,
Now that's a different lady. That ain't no Gail King that just hugged her. Gail King over wear her hair like that. Let's keep it, let's keep scrolling. What? They go hard in these IG comments. Somebody said, damn, that's all the comments we got? This little bit? So hell has no fear like a woman scorn. I don't agree with that. Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't know what it even means. Hell has no fury like a woman. Well, I guess they're comparing hell to a woman being scorned. It's not comparable at all. I get what he's saying though, but it's not comparable. Deserves an Oscar. Yeah, facts. Facts. I said that earlier that she need to get into acting. This is crazy. And Cass was saying that for months and years and years. I heard Breezy got locked up because of this junk. I don't know if it's true or not. Heard he got locked up. Breezy, aka Chris Brown. Shoot, stop trying to be Michael Jackson. Leave it to Chris Brown. Man. This is bad. Shoot. Chris just got locked up. Chris got out before him. Hey, Chris got out. Warp speed. That warp speed bail money. What? He got out fast, man. But this footage here, I never knew about this. Probably from a documentary or something. Sheesh. How you rejoice on video like? But then again, hey, you gotta keep people thinking that you are the innocent one. You have to do it. Public perception is serious. You know? It really is. I didn't think it was all that serious until social media came around. You know? I was on social media. Not so much. Some years back. But as you look at social media, yes, public perception is important. It helped dude get locked up. Because there was so many people saying, oh yeah, he did it. You know? Stupid reasons too. Oh, he did it because he's shorter than her. What? Stupid reasons. You know? Public perception is serious. It can get you in trouble. It really can. Especially these days when you got internet. Cass leaving all these comments. I think that's what his dad was talking about. His dad was like, oh, some of the people do mean well, but some of them don't. You know? Some of the people online, they do not mean well. A lot of people online wanted Tory to get locked up, and they want him to stay locked up. It's sad. It's sad. It shouldn't even be like that. You know? It should just be people saying, well, if he did it, he gonna be what he saw. But now you got people saying, oh, we don't care. If y'all say he didn't do it, he did it. It's like, you're not even there, though. You was never even there when it happened. Kylie Jenner wasn't even there, I don't think, when that junk happened. I think they had already left her party. The heck? Because I remember when it first happened, I thought to myself, why ain't Kylie getting questioned? Because she wasn't there. She wasn't there when the junk happened. She was there when it was happy time. She wasn't there during angry time. Which they say it was even him that got angry. They said the whole time he was in fear like her. Like, who the hell is shooting? And they said when he figured out who was shooting, he trying to knock the gun down. And I guess that's how his 0.01% of his DNA got on it, I guess. Which he probably has no DNA on it. But I'm going to just take their word for it and say you have that little bit of DNA on it. That little tiny bit. That 0.01% or whatever the heck they said. Sure, man. I was on freaking mute for the first 10 minutes. I didn't even realize that junk. The fake and faulty equipment. That's how it is when you first starting out, though, man. Sure. The John Ghetto. But I believe y'all with our verse or two, like I always do. This was Ephesians 5:11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. See, he should have never been at that party in the first place. You are the son of a pastor. Why you at this party? Like you 50 Cent up in this mud. We came to party. What you doing there? No. You should have been in the studio making more of those songs. And people falls in love sometimes. You fell in love with the wrong chick. And now you set up. He should have seen this coming. You see how her music is? I mean, his music has a lot of profanity too and things, but he should have seen this coming. He should have. Maybe he thought, oh, she ain't really about that whole misandry rap that she does. Oh yeah, she about that. Because she got you in trouble. And she was rejoicing like she told the full truth. And a lot of the internet was saying she didn't for freaking years. They were saying it. It was like, she's freaking lying. That's what they were saying. It was like, we believe she's lying. Yeah. Because how can you dance, twirl like a ballerina, all that damn junk? I mean, she wasn't doing all that, but you know what I'm saying? She was walking normally, dancing, all in the video. You know? Like she was beefing with Bad Boy Entertainment or something. No, she was dancing in the video like she was beefing with Death Row Records. After getting shot. That's why so many people was like, what the frick? This don't add up. A lot of people were saying it, man. I didn't believe it either. Because you were supposed to at least have a cast on your foot for months. If you get shot in the foot, because so many nerves there. So many veins. So many arteries. So many little tiny bones. That if you just break one or two of them, you'll be inside a cast. For a month or two, maybe more. I ain't no expert at this, but it's common sense. It's common sense. I don't specialize in x-ray and all that. Nah. I don't. But hey, that was on him. She'll never messed around with that chick. Hell no. I know he probably was like, she look good. You know what else looks good? Chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Vanilla ice cream looks delicious. Should you eat it every freaking day? Huh? Lizzo and Monique, they found out the hard way. You can't eat that every day. You be up out of here. Anthony Anderson, all the heavyweight comedians, they found out. Bruce, all these people. You know what I'm saying? I forgot that one dude name with a funny made head. What's the dude with a funny made head? His last name Crawford. Big wide dude. He lost a bunch of weight. All these people, they found out the hard way, man. You know? Not that hard of a way, but they could have found out a harder way. And ended up on that insulin. Some of them probably is on insulin. I know that one dude, Nick Jones, he on insulin. Sure. Sad, isn't it? The point is, though, just because something look good doesn't mean it's good for you. Should have knew that. He was toughing it out. I give it to him. He was toughing it out until that guy came out of no freaking where and tried to end him by puncturing his freaking organs. He was trying to puncture organs. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think most of the, the pokes, I don't know what words you can say. Most of the pokes, I think, were aimed at the torso, where the organs are at. So, I don't know. He needed G Money up in that motherfucker. You know what kid said on New Jack City? It's a hit. G, cover me. Nobody had his back in there? What the fig? He must have caught kid alone. Kid probably was protected for like a while. And he probably waited. And waited. Took his time. His sweet time. Somebody need to look into that guy and see how much money he got on commissary. Because he probably got $1 million in that mug. And if he do got $1 million in it, the guy that did this to Tory, who sent him it? Who? Who sent him all that commissary money? Who? Who did it? So his excuse better be, I come from a rich family. And he better be telling the truth. But Most likely they ain't gonna do anything to that guy. Shoot. We don't. Matter of fact, do anyone know who even did this job? I don't know. Already serving life. Cats like that don't care. Already serving life. They need to change that though. They need to change that. If somebody do something like that after serving life, you might as well just give them the freaking guillotine or something. Like, you might as well. Because this person ain't gonna stop what they're doing. They're not. So you have to stop them yourself. It sounds harsh, but hey, what do they do to cancer? You know, if it winds up on somebody's freaking hand or some junk, they chop that ball off. Like somebody that's trying to stop sinning. Shoot. Except for the sinner, he chops it off spiritually, but come to cancer, they chop it off literally. But we have another one here, Luke 8:17, and it says, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light." That's all it is to it. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to even happen this soon. I thought maybe years down the line it was going to like eventually tell the truth. But damn, in 2025. Wow. And 2025. Oh man. Sheesh. If I said that right. Yeah. And we got one more. I'm just happy, man, that my man getting some justice. It's about freaking time, man. Makes you wonder, was they spying on this guy? Because it seemed like somebody knew he was going to get into law. My question is, was he telling everybody about this? You know? Like telling everybody that he knew in there, that he made friends with, so-called friends. You know, maybe they passed the message along to whoever the freak they're working for. But I don't know, man. I don't know. These are just speculations I have. I don't know what the heck going on. But maybe he was talking to everybody about it. You know, maybe people, you don't know. Maybe he's so good at it now, because it has been some years, right? He probably been studying it for years to the point people like, oh, yo, these guys pretty good at his judicial. You know? Oh yeah, man. Yo, Tory, man, can you help me with this case, man? Oh yeah, bro, I got you. And maybe he's that good already. And maybe they was like, yeah. Maybe one of those freaking plants that's in there, probably not even locked up for real. Just came out of nowhere. Yeah. Hey, man, I like your music, man. Yeah, I love that. Oh, what's your favorite song, bro? Sure. Oh, man, I'm just starstruck, man. I can't even think of it. Oh, that's cool, bro. That's cool. Dude don't even know no song. He just was sent. I don't know. I'm just I don't know. Dude probably just sent. Yeah, they're gonna do it right there. Yeah. He learning too much. But he just sit back and chill and take his time like a normal dumb rapper. Shoot. Nah, that's not how it's gonna go. My man head ain't big for nothing. He got knowledge inside that cranium. He got knowledge, man. They were scared of that. They were scared of the knowledge swelling up his brain. You know what I'm saying? He was getting too smart. He getting too smart. How DJ Khaled say you smart? He's getting too smart. I don't know. I don't know, man. But hey, the Lord was with my man. My man survived. Hey, sheesh. I still can't believe that junk happened. Man, I wonder what the heck they did it with. Was it a freaking hand, a shank made out of a toothbrush, or was it a freaking? Did they get a damn like an actual knife up in there? Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker sucked on a candy cane, then start doing. You know, candy canes get sharp. If you suck on it, they can get sharp at the end. And hey, but nah, it can't be no candy cane, because the first jab it would have broke, and boy that'd hurt. He probably did it with one of those what you call them? Those rat tail combs. Probably sharpened in the end of that junk. Oh my goodness, man. Ain't no telling what it was. But hey, thank God Tory is okay. Salute the Drizzy, Breezy. Who was the other guy that said say free? Well, salute to the other guy. I forgot who it was. Yeah. Yeah, salute to those guys, man. We need more on the petition. We need more on the petition. T free. But this time around, you cannot party with whores, man. If you gonna party, you party with the Most High. You got partying with them whores and got caught up. Come on, man. Come on, man. And you the son of a pastor. Come on, man. You gotta do better than that next time. Shoot. Next time the Lord might deliver you into your enemy's hands. So, hey, if you're gonna live, you live righteously. Like the Lord did for those 33 years that he lived life as a human. Simple. And this is the last one right here, man. That I leave it off with. John 3:36. He who believes in the Son has everlasting life. And he who does not believe the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abides on him. Simple as that. Ain't no way around him. Ain't no way around him. See that? No way around that. No way. He's the elect one. Lord of lords, King of kings. You must obey him. You must. You must. So pray for Tory, man, so that he can get right with the Lord, man. Because the Lord spared him for a reason. Alright? May peace be upon you all and blessings from the Most High.